In his book, The Art of the Impossible, Andrew Reid makes false allegations, namely that I masqueraded as Nigel Farage, yeah, on my own website, thebrexitparty.org.uk, which is complete nonsense. This was a copyright dispute between us. I registered brexitparty.org.uk on the 9th of November 2016 on Regent Street in London whilst drinking in Pret a Manger. So their argument basically is that this does not establish copyright. Well, in actual fact, it does. And the HM government website on intellectual property confirms that fact. The moment a web domain is registered for an organisation, i.e. .org.uk, it establishes copyright. So in his book, Andrew Reid makes no assertion whatsoever as to when he claims Catherine Blakelock founded her version of the Brexit Party, which she registered in November 2018 at Companies House in London, named the Brexit Party Limited. It's the Brexit Party that is the offending article, not limited, obviously. They intended always to run a business operation masquerading as a political party. So the allegation that I imitated or impersonated Nigel Farage is libel. It's pure fiction. The further allegation he makes that I posted jihadi videos online, in actual fact, his web team from Facebook, in actual fact, claimed that I posted videos there and said jihadi videos should be allowed to stay online is in actual fact extremely serious act of libel. It's also designed to incite violence. These people, all connected to UKIP, you must remember they all come from the UKIP swamp originally, have threatened to kill me repeatedly. They've threatened to kill my 88-year-old mother, and they've also threatened to rape my former fiancée. The police have not even spoken to one of them despite repeated complaints. So the issue basically is this. They always rely upon their police friends to protect them. And they also have political connections in the Conservative Party because many of them actually come from the Conservative Party. UKIP was born as a shill operation from the Conservative Party. And their connections with one another are through the Bruise groups. So in terms of what Andrew Reid says about, he imagines me later, towards the end of the book, he imagines me speaking in a German accent, you fine. We will make you pay your £25 registration fee. You understand me, you silly old man? Sorry for the theatrical dramatics, but this is what he's basically trying to allege, that I actually spoke to an elderly man who had applied to join our Brexit Party, the real Brexit Party that is, not their fake passe off operation. He claims I spoke to him in a German accent in an email. He imagined I was talking to him in a German accent. The simple truth is this. How does one speak in a German accent in an email which is written and sent in an electronic form? It is simply illogical. The man basically is a deluded trope author, for want of a better description, in league with Simon Carr, a notorious satirist and cartoonist who was particularly favoured by Tony Blair as the nastiest cartoonist in the country. Well, he's well and truly met his match in me, because I don't scare easily. In fact, I don't scare at all. And nasty cartoonists and top London lawyers don't bother me in the slightest. The other false allegation is that after the May elections in 2019, which they won obviously using the Brexit Party, which I devised, not them, not Catherine Blakelock, not Nigel Farage, they then made an application to WordPress and Fastos to have our website taken down. In actual fact, no such complaint has been received by WordPress or Fastos, and I have checked with them just this week. It is again more false allegations. However, what he does say quite rightly, and he makes a big point of it, is that he was rattled by the fact that I made DCMA takedown notices against their website, and quite rightly so, for infringement of the Brexit Party copyright. which I devise, not them. And so, in typical true form, I would say basically for a top London lawyer, he then goes into a rant and a character assassination about what he thinks of me, and that he believed I would be happy with him writing so many pages about me and his troll trove. Because apparently he seems to think I'm desperate for attention. Well, I can assure you, I'm not desperate for attention of any description from anyone. I'm an author in my own right, and I was also the leader of the Stronger Out campaign to leave the EU, obviously, which is where they got the idea from to found their version of the Brexit Party. It's all very well for them to say, no, we created the Brexit Party, you claim you created it. That's fair enough. That is the legal dispute at hand. Chronology determines the matter, and the chronological order of events is that I registered it 2 years before they did. That gives me the intellectual property to use the name the Brexit Party. But not content with that, they have to go much further into the domain of smears and lies and falsehood. And Biteback Publishing, quite frankly, should have asked them from the very outset to see evidence to substantiate this raft of false allegations, particularly the allegation, etc., 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 it says in one sentence, sweeping generalization that he put jihadi videos online and demanded they stay online. Pure fiction, pure nonsense. I didn't even have a Facebook account. I closed my Facebook account in December 2018 because, quite frankly, I can't stand the platform, to be perfectly honest with you, and I totally had enough of it. And I concentrated solely on the brexitparty.org.uk and Stronger Out. But, of course, facts for a top London lawyer, well, they just don't cut the biscuit, do they, at all, in actual fact? No, read basically what he says in his book is, on the top London lawyer routine, which a point he makes repeatedly, is that you should really take me seriously about what I say in every single capacity, in every context, because I'm a top London lawyer. I worked in libel and defamation. I represented Lord Macaulay. How could I possibly be lying about this person, me? And he hasn't even got the courage to name me. Instead, he hides behind the devious stunt of jigsaw identification. But it's perfectly easy to identify me in actual fact. There's no problem about that. He actually refers to a legal case in Nottinghamshire in which he claims I mounted a defence that because WordPress hosted the blog in question, I wasn't liable for any of the content on it. This is absolute nonsense. Again, it is pure fiction and can be disproved very easily. The man basically has a mindset for invention. In fact, the littlest eye of invention just never sleeps. Because at the end of the day, in politics, everybody is power crazy. They're desperate to maintain their status quo. And smearing people is one of the ways in which they maintain their status quo. Now, these divine descended bad boys of Brexit, as they call themselves. And this is a very interesting point about Reed's mental state in actual fact. He actually makes it perfectly clear in the book that he believes Nigel Farage, no less, the Ken Dodd impersonator, which is what I call him, who was entirely crafted and brought to fame by News International, not himself, that Messiah basically brought them Brexit, that he was descended almost from the heavens. He came down on a carpet with royal trumpets from God himself, no less. Go to the British, Nigel, and save them. Drag them out of the evil EU and deliver them unto the arms of Brexit in name only, which is all we have. Brexit does not exist, and that is entirely the responsibility of Nigel Farage and Richard Tice for cutting a shabby deal with the Conservative Party to put those globalists in power to deliver Brexit in name only. So, in summary, what I've done basically to counter this book is I've made an official complaint to Amazon on the grounds of libel and infringement of copyright. I've also made a libel complaint to Biteback Publishing based in Hull. No doubt I will discover shortly that it has some form of Brexiteer funding it in the shadowy background of their swamp of politics. And I've also made a complaint to the Solicitors Regulation Authority, because what Reed does in actual fact throughout the book is he makes the point repeatedly: I am a top London lawyer. How could anyone possibly challenge me? I represent the divine Nigel Farage himself, our Lord and Master. And here's another very, very damning statement in that book. Reed states quite clearly that Nigel Farage believes anyone who doesn't basically worship him as the Messiah, in other words, thou shalt not worship false prophets, I think the Christians call it, yeah, should be given a good kicking and be taught a lesson. And this is what they set out to do in their troll trope, the art of the impossible. I rename it the art of the unbelievable, which is what I'm now to prove. And I will prove it, and I will triumph over them. Thank you. From the